Welcome back to the Humble Market Timer YouTube channel. Once again, if you enjoy the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. In today's video, we're going to look at Coreweave. Is a major reversal on the horizon? Before I go any further, here's my disclaimer. Once again, these are my sole ideas, not investment advice. Now, Coreweave is a cloud computing company that provides computing resources for artificial intelligence applications. In other words, they rent out computing power to other companies so they don't have to invest their own money into the hardware. And these types of companies are often referred to as AI hyperscalers. So they are right in the middle of this AI infrastructure and this big AI boom that we currently have in the market and in this environment. And Coreweave IPO'd at about $40 back in March of this year, and it was an astounding success. It popped initially, gave back a little bit, but then had a massive move. We went from the IPO price, like I said, about $40 all the way to $187. So it made a massive move, and like I said, it's right in the middle of the AI infrastructure play that is very hot in today's market. But as of recently, and when I say recently, I'm talking about the past week or so, or maybe in the past month, a lot of these AI infrastructure plays have been hit hard by profit takers. And to a certain extent, rightfully so. Some of these names are going up 5x, 10x, some even 20x in less than 6 months. So I think profit taking was to be expected. But it never feels good in the moment when you see such steep slides in the price. So recently, like I said, we have been a major slide in pretty much all infrastructure AI plays. And they have really in the past week or two pulled back, many of them like 40%. So major slide, and it's starting to cause doubt in some of those people who were such big believers in the AI infrastructure play. But looking at the chart, let's see if there's some signals that are pointing to a reversal. One thing I want to note here is the candle that we had on Friday. Look at the formation of the candle. This is very typical of a reversal type candle. So keep that in mind. And let's draw a couple of lines to kind of see if things are aligning with that being a potential reversal candle. So let's first look here. This was the original peak after the IPO. Let's draw a line from the peak here all the way over. And lo and behold, look at where we had the price action dip to that line and got a major bounce from that area in that $64, $65 area. So that's one positive signal that we could be reaching a point where we have a reversal. Let's draw a couple of other lines. Let's do a parallel where we look from about the top here and we kind of line it up here, and we kind of line it up with some of the action that we have here. And I'm intentionally putting the bottom of the parallel here because what I want you to also pay attention to is where I tried to line up where possibly could be a midpoint. And as you can see, based on the midpoint here, you can see there were several occasions where right about here, where that midpoint also acted as a point of resistance. You see right here, you see right here. I wanted to kind of line it up so that we have an upper band and a lower band, but also we have some hits where the midpoint acted as points of support or resistance. So I think that's probably a good parallel. Look at what you're seeing here. Look how that lines up very neatly with the bottom of that parallel with this line that we drew initially. Let's look at a couple more things. I'm also kind of visually looking at it. If you kind of took a line from here and kind of drew that to where we might have some areas of resistance. You can see here we had a bit of a W pattern right here just under this line, and then all of a sudden, once we broke through this line and confirmed, we made a move all the way back up to the top of the parallel. So this line right here could also represent a line that has been an important line in establishing areas of support and resistance for Coreweave. And also, once again, lo and behold, look at how those three lines are all showing confluence and are hitting right at around the same point. Let's look at one or two more things. Sometimes I like to look at the fib retracements. Oftentimes, you get major bounces with your fib retracements at the 786. Let's do a fib retracement from the bottom here all the way to the top. And once again, what do we see? Lo and behold, right at the 786, we have where we bottomed, giving you a fourth area of confluence that shows you that this is very possibly a key area for a major reversal. Let's look at one more thing. Let's look at the RSI. If you notice that the RSI, it has been trading within this parallel pretty strongly. You see it bounced off the bottom of this parallel and made a move back to the top. And look where we are on the parallel. We just recently hit the bottom and we are starting to curve off of the bottom of the parallel on the RSI. The RSI is at about 24 to 25, very, very low. And oftentimes in that area, in those areas below 30, you get reversals. So we have about 5 different things that are showing bright flashing lights saying this is highly probable an area where we will have a major reversal. Now, that doesn't mean that it will go all the way up and this will be the very bottom. This may be a temporary reversal signal. It may have more room to drop in the future, but I do believe in that very short time frame of maybe the next 2 months to 2 to 4 months, I believe we will see a pretty aggressive bounce from this area before we get any level of pullback off of this area. And again, we have 5 different indicators showing that this is a spot where Coreweave has a great chance to get a bounce. So keep an eye on Coreweave, keep an eye on the bounce. A lot of these AI stocks have been taking a beating recently, so they are due for a bit of a relief bounce. There may be some opportunities in the very near future, maybe starting as quickly as Monday, where you could make a quick 10, 20, maybe even 30% off the bounce. Hope you like the content. If you like the video and the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.